I know that Comrade Chuba is going to say, is this not the regular talk? So let's focus on the Mrs. Silva Agu, the call for her removal, and then her stance on some issues again has been giving us a bit of a concern. This call for her removal would, the same call went out for police commissioners in different states as well. The IG basically, moved all of them around and all of that. But here we are again, talking about the partisanship involvement or her attitude or her rapport with the political office holders, as the case may be. There seems not to be a shift in INEC. Before we came over, you were saying INEC has passed through the biggest fire, came out unhurt. Why do we think that the off-season election of 3 states is going to mean anything? What do you think it could be the reason why INEC doesn't seem to budge when it comes to changing this lady, at least moving her to another state to replace with another, considering how volatile Imo State is right now?
Permit me to say it makes some very strong, difficult statements. One of such is the fact that to the level of the Supreme Court, justices are appointed. And these appointments are coming from where? Political office holders. So at the end of the day, what should be fair is not really fair in as much as your paymaster or some person that appointed you feels slighted. So I think most of these bottlenecks they are not spiritual things, they are not rocket science. We don't need to go and look for why and how. Nobody is supposed to be a fat cow that cannot be moved. Even when you are doing the right thing, if the people say they are tired of this right thing you are doing, one way or the other, the system should be able to look into it and possibly bring someone else to man that post, that guard for you. But the kind of country we find ourselves today, it's where people have screamed, it's less than 24 hours to the time, and yet nothing has happened from the INEC quarters. And if something happens now, who's bringing the person? Whose person's bidding is that person coming to do there? Whether we accept it or not, this person has been there, she understands the terrain, she understands the internal politicking and all. But be that as it may, what was INEC's business or not originally is not to come and conduct an election. But now we now have to understand the politics and possibly play it. You can see that a couple of days ago, stakeholders from all quarters were screaming to the high heavens, warning Mr. President and telling people to resist appointment of Mr. President into INEC, of party members, card carrying members of the APC, becoming officials of INEC. But how far has that call gone? Well, your guess is as good as mine. So I think that the elections, the elections for me, it's not. I just hope that it does not get to that place where it becomes obviously a charade. Because whether I would like it or yes, to a large extent, people feel that even when they muscle themselves to ensure that they finally vote, do the right thing and all, you find out at the end of the day, maybe the result will be called up, maybe at midnight or at nightfall or at dusk. And at the end of the day, the celebration will just be within the house, and we will just have to swallow that pill and move on from there. Ask yourself, I think the reputable son, Falana, query the judgment of the appeal court in respect to the judgment of Kaduna State election. Is it Kaduna Kano? Where he took offense, he said, how can you now be punishing the people for INEC's fault? Say the results were not stamped, but the results are valid, the form is valid, but the results were not stamped by an official who possibly has been compromised and deliberately not stamping for that to be used as a case, as an issue in court. And then the day you speak to a lawyer and I tell you I'm a learned colleague, what makes him learned? Only the Lord knows. So at the end of the day, this is where we have found ourselves, where we have dragged virtually all our systems to disrepute. So it is for me another far cry from the PDP talking about how people want to win and ready for elections. It's just normal. These are statements that should be said by people that are holding office and are being paid by organs of government. Outside of that, it is neither here nor there. What will happen? What will only make a difference is the persons and the actors that decide to say, let's make it a difference from here. And if they have a stake, and by the mercy of God's grace, something different happens, there's a departure, it will only boost hope for further elections coming on.